Welcome to Mythos AI, your source for Cliff's Notes on complex subjects. Join Anna and Phil for yet another engaging conversation.
Okay, so you wake up, it's 2024, haven't even had that first cup of coffee yet.
Yeah.
And you're already depending on like a dozen different microchips just to function.
Yeah, phones, cars, that smart coffee maker that's supposedly going to make your life easier. It's all powered by these tiny little computer brains.
And the tech behind these silicon brains is evolving crazy fast.
Absolutely. And that's where this company AlphaChip comes in. And I think this is really interesting. They're not just making new chips. They're using AI to design chips.
It's like having a super smart architect, but for microprocessors, right?
Exactly. And this is causing huge waves in the industry. Like NVIDIA, they built their name on those powerful GPUs, the A100. You see it everywhere, from gaming to these massive AI models. Everyone wants their hands on them.
So NVIDIA's at the top, but now AlphaChip comes along with a totally different approach.
Right. Because what AlphaChip is showing is that you can design a chip for a very specific task, and it can actually outperform these really powerful general-purpose chips like the A100.
So it's not just about raw processing power anymore, it's about specialized processing.
Exactly. And you can see that in the report you sent over, this example with Google's tensor processing units, or TPUs as they call them.
Right, the TPUs.
They were designed using AlphaChip's AI, and they're already outperforming traditional GPUs when it comes to these very specific tasks like processing huge data sets for AI, and they're more efficient.
How much more efficient are we talking?
We're talking about like a 15% reduction in power consumption in Google's data centers.
Wow, that's huge. So what does that mean for a company like NVIDIA? Are they going to be able to keep up?
NVIDIA's feeling the heat for sure. They are looking into AI design, but it's not that easy.
Because AlphaChip has this head start.
It's more than just a head start. They're using this technique called reinforcement learning. It's like training a dog. You reward the behavior you want to see more of.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. So AlphaChip's dog is their AI, and the treat is a successful design.
Exactly. The AI learns by doing, and the more chips it designs, the better it gets at designing them.
So it's like this self-improving R&D department.
Exactly, and that's what makes AlphaChip a real disruptor, but they're not the only ones shaking things up in the AI chip world. Have you heard of Groq?
Groq, yeah, what's their story?
So Groq, they're really interesting because they're going all in on AI chips, but they have this unique approach. They're developing something called a tensor streaming processor.
Okay, tensor streaming processor, that sounds complicated. Break it down for me. What is that?
Imagine like a single lane highway. Okay. And data is just flowing down this highway incredibly fast and efficiently. That's the basic idea behind Groq's design. They've really optimized this data flow specifically for those really complex calculations that AI models need.
So it's all about speed then.
Speed and efficiency, but to really get it, you have to understand a little bit about tensors.
All right, let's talk tensors. What are they?
Think of it like this, you know how a simple list is like a line of data, right? Well, and tensor is like a multi-dimensional container for that data. So instead of just a line, it could be a grid, a cube, even more complex shapes.
Okay, starting to get a picture.
AI models, especially in deep learning, they need to process these massive multi-dimensional data sets. That's where tensors come in, and that's where Groq's focus on this streamlined data flow with their tensor streaming processor gives them a real edge.
Okay, I'm with you. So both Groq and AlphaChip are building specifically for AI, but it's like Groq built a super fast train for one specific route, while AlphaChip built this all-terrain vehicle that can adapt to any track and still win the race.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Groq's got this incredible speed and efficiency, but AlphaChip's got that adaptability because of their reinforcement learning, which makes them a real game changer in the long run. And this has huge implications even for companies that aren't directly making AI chips like AR.
Right, ARM, they're kind of like the silent force behind so many devices. I know they designed the architecture for the chips that end up in most smartphones and a lot of other tech.
Yeah.
But how does this new wave of AI-designed chips impact a company that doesn't even manufacture chips themselves?
Well, ARM's whole business model has always been about providing the blueprint, the standard recipe, if you will, for chips that other companies then take and customize and manufacture themselves.
So they're the architects, not the construction workers.
Exactly, and they've been incredibly successful with that approach. But now, AlphaChip is challenging the very need for that standardized design.
It's like saying, why use a recipe when you have an AI that can just whip up the perfect dish tailored to your exact tastes?
Exactly, and
Yeah.
that puts ARM in a tough spot because their whole business is built on companies using their standard designs.
What do they do?
Adapt or risk becoming irrelevant. It's that simple. They need to figure out how to incorporate these AI design tools into what they do, maybe become more flexible with their approach.
It's fascinating how this one company is sending ripples through the entire industry. And it's not just the design side of things either. TSMC, the guys who actually manufacture the chips, they must be feeling the heat too.
Absolutely. TSMC, they're the manufacturing powerhouse of the chip world, but even they're facing these new challenges because of AI designed chips.
What kind of challenges?
These AI designed chips, they're not just more powerful, they're also way more complex and intricate to actually manufacture, which means TSMC needs to invest in even more advanced technology and techniques just to keep up.
So TSMC has the best ovens in the world, but now they're getting recipes from AI chefs that require this whole new level of baking precision.
Exactly. It's a great analogy, and it really highlights how collaborative this whole thing is becoming. TSMC needs to work closely with companies like Google, who are on the cutting edge of AI chip design, to make sure that these chips can actually be manufactured at scale.
It's almost like this new era of technological collaboration is being forced out of necessity.
In a way, yeah, it's not just about competition anymore. It's about pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
We've talked a lot about the impact on these big players, NVIDIA, ARM, TSMC, but let's zoom out for a second. Why should all of this matter to someone who's not a tech enthusiast? What's the big picture significance here?
It's easy to get caught up in the technical details, but this is about so much more than just faster phones or better graphics for gaming. This is about the future of computing, the future of AI, and ultimately the future of countless industries and aspects of our lives.
Okay, now you've got my attention. What are we talking about here? What are some of the real-world implications of this technology down the line?
Imagine a world with AI-powered medical devices that can diagnose diseases with incredible accuracy in a fraction of the time it takes today. Or personalized medicine tailored to your specific genetic makeup, all thanks to AI analysis that's faster and more precise.
Now, that's something that could actually change people's lives, and that's just medicine. What else is on the horizon? We've only scratched the surface, haven't we? This feels bigger than just the tech industry changing.
Oh, absolutely. AI-designed chips could revolutionize so many fields. Like, think about climate change. That's one of the biggest problems we face right now.
Right.
With more powerful AI, we could be building these incredibly complex climate models that take way more data into account.
So more data means more accurate predictions, right? And hopefully better solutions.
Exactly, and that's just one example. But I know what you're thinking. This all sounds very technical.
It does. But every once in a while, you come across a technology that just feels like magic, like something out of sci-fi. Is there anything in this field that gets you really excited? Something that feels almost too futuristic to be true?
You want the mind-blowing stuff. Okay, how about real-time language translation? But I'm talking about translation so good, it picks up on humor and slang, even cultural context, just seamless conversation across any language barrier.
Okay, yeah, that's straight out of Star Trek. That would change everything. Travel diplomacy, even just watching movies.
Exactly, and it doesn't stop there. Imagine AI-powered prosthetics controlled by your thoughts, responding with the same kind of dexterity and nuance as the real thing. Or self-driving cars that are so safe and so precise that traffic accidents become a thing of the past.
It's almost overwhelming to think about all the possibilities, isn't it? In a good way, though.
It's definitely exciting, but you're right, it's a lot to take in because we're really talking about a fundamental shift in how we design the tools that power our world.
And it all comes back to AI designing the brains behind it all. This alpha chip technology, the way it learns and improves, it's more than just faster chips, isn't it? It's about the potential to solve problems that we haven't even thought of yet.
You got it. This is about human ingenuity combined with the power of AI to really push the boundaries of what's possible.
This has been a mind-expanding deep dive, to say the least. We've gone from these tiny little chips to changing the world as we know it. But it all starts with understanding this new technology and the impact it's having.
And it's just the beginning. As this technology keeps evolving, who knows what new innovations will come out of it and how they'll change our lives.
Exactly. So to our listeners out there, if this sparked your curiosity, I encourage you to dive in and do some more research of your own. Look up AlphaChip. See what companies like NVIDIA and Google are doing in this space, and imagine the possibilities, because who knows, maybe you'll be the one to come up with the next big breakthrough.
The future is unwritten, and it's going to be fascinating to see where it takes us.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and until next time, keep those minds curious.
Thanks for listening to Mythos AI. Stay tuned for more concise insights. And remember to hit the like button and subscribe for future episodes.